It's Sunday, May 17th. We had our service at the church, and we all did the safety protocols as far as this virus. And we had the phone set up to record it, and none of us are very good with that kind of stuff. So I'm basically going to try to give you the synopsis of the lesson for those that couldn't be here. And I can't tell you how much it was a pleasure to be able to actually see the brothers and sisters even with a mask on. It was very nice. We kind of worked on a subject. It started off with slavery and the injustice that slavery is, where a man does not get to keep the fruits of his labor. Man really doesn't get to own anything. The only thing that he has going for him is to keep him working, you need to feed him, and he does need to get some sleep. He can never really look forward to building a future for himself. His labors are basically for someone else. And a lot of people criticize the United States because they say that it was founded with slavery, which I believe is an evil thing. When you think about slavery, you can always look to people that want to do some virtue signaling, which is a fancy term for someone wanting to claim virtue that they really don't have. I know the various political parties and political personalities and any celebrity personalities or notoriety, people of notoriety, are always virtue signaling about the fact that they're totally opposed to slavery and the bigotry and racism that they are not partaking in. Because slavery was abolished in this country, I would say that is a very good step. But has it been abolished worldwide? And I like you to keep in mind, since so many people like to virtue signal on how much they hate slavery, why are they in bed with it? And you say, no, we don't have any slavery in the United States. Well, if you buy products that Americans don't make because we can't keep competitive with countries that have slaves, and those countries we make deals with, and our stores are completely full of products made by slaves, then you're doing the same thing, it's just once removed. You're getting a very, very good deal on an item that the person that made it really doesn't get anything but a little bit of food and some sleep. And we And our politicians have sold our country out to this. And we can all, as Americans, feel good because we don't have slavery, but yes, we do. It's just one step removed. Now, a lot of people are bitter about this virus. Some people think it's a conspiracy. Some people think it's a very harmless virus. Some people feel that there's a lot of conspiracies going on, possible conspiracy with the vaccination that will be forthcoming at some point, who knows. But I would say, no matter what any of the politicians say, or governors, I think it's a wise decision to try to keep yourself healthy and your family healthy and do protocols against this virus. So if a politician at some point says, you are now free to do anything you want, even though it may not be a very safe practice as far as epidemiology or the spread of this virus or any other virus, I would say that it's something that you need to consider what you want to do when and if we do loosen all the restrictions and people can do what they want. I still say that we need to respect those that do not want someone to get closer than a safe distancing, and we need to respect their wishes. But who do you blame for this? We cannot make most of the products that we use anymore in this country. And great amounts of money were changed hands to let other countries that have slaves. When you have a communist dictatorship, you have a country that holds slaves. And yet we have all these bonds with them to where we can't manufacture most of the basic goods that we need. Pharmaceuticals, aspirin, antibiotics. If you go into most stores, you're buying stuff that's made in China. Even a lot of our agriculture is now coming from China. And so we are in real trouble in this country because we have sold out to slavery. And I get these remarks from YouTube, I guess, about using respectful language or keep it respectful. I'm not trying to disrespect or use vulgarities or anything. I'm stating something that I see and I believe is happening. Even if it costs us more, we need to, start manufacturing our own goods and keep our economic base and manufacturing base in this country, and not be totally dependent on countries that have a very distinct advantage when it comes to the cost of labor, especially when it's slave labor, and that's what I call it. And I may be wrong. Someone may disagree. Please feel free to leave a comment, and I'll get back to you, and we'll discuss this, and maybe you'll convince me. But because we're willing to make a deal with the devil in this situation, or our manufacturing base has been moved out of this country. And it'll take a long time if we ever do try to get it back or succeed in getting some of it back. We make this deal with the devil. And so when you think about this virus, think about, well, we made a deal with this devil. You know, there's a bat cave 600 miles from Wuhan, 600 miles halfway from where I live to San Francisco. 600 miles is a long distance. And these scientists in Wuhan, and they're not all Chinese scientists. From what I understand, there are many very, very, very wealthy Americans that own lots of stock in that laboratory at Wuhan, which is dedicated to going out and pulling these bats that hang upside down out of the cave and hope to find more viruses. Why? They've looked at salamanders and snakes and every kind of creature they can find, looking for more viruses that really would be in the cave, not bothering anybody. The bats have long become basically accustomed and for the most part immune to these viruses, but we want to get them for some reason. And now, here's what we have. We, in a lot of places in the United States, can't, go out. We're supposed to stay at home, lockdown. They talk about these little airplanes that battery operated, whatever they call them, tracking people and things like that. And this is what you get. See, when you want to play with these viruses, you're sowing the wind, but you're going to reap the whirlwind. And so if you don't mind, I just want to read that verse in Hosea chapter 8. Says in verse 7, "For they have sown the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. It hath no stalk, the bud shall yield no meal. If so be it yield, the stranger shall swallow it up." I want you to turn to another verse in the New Testament. It's in red letters. And it's in Luke. I can find it. Look in Luke chapter 12. And starting in verse 49, it says, Christ speaking, red letter, he says, "I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I if it be already kindled?" So when God promises that there is going to be famine and pestilence, and the day of judgment is at hand, wars and rumors of war, we're the ones that kindle this. And now he's going to burn it down. We're the ones that started. We're the ones that want to play with these bugs. I think Trump calls it the invisible enemy. It's a very shrewd enemy, can last floating in microscopic droplets in a room just from people talking for up to 14 minutes. It's a very hardy virus. People say, well, no, it's a conspiracy. I don't think so. The conspiracy was when China would not allow the citizens of Wuhan to leave Wuhan for any other destination in China, but they could go anywhere around the world. And that's after they knew that this virus was transmissible from human to human. That's a conspiracy. And now we've got to live with it. The little fire's kindled. When God says you like to play with matches, He's got a flamethrower. Man can't seem to govern man. And most of our problem is going back to the root of all evil, which God says is the problem. The root of all evil is the love of money. Do not think that I'm attacking the Democrats or the Republicans. It's a problem with mankind. And both parties are guilty. Both parties have sold us out. Because profit. Not profit for the United States. Profit for them. Make these little deals. If you can't keep the money, put it in your son, grandson, uncle. Whatever the law, you can get around the law and make these deals. Start foundations. Start charities. Somehow the money flows back from these deals. Because man is corrupt. I'm proud to say you're looking at a church that at least admits man is corrupt. Our church is a church only for sinners. We don't allow non-sinners in it. A lot of people will say, why would you do that? Because there really aren't any non-sinners. They just can't admit they're sinners. What good is a physician to a well person, since most people feel they're very well? And they hate slavery, and they hate sin, and they hate this, and they hate that. And the Bible says, there is none good, no, not one. If I were in a position to make this kind of money, I might have done it. Probably would have. We're not going to be able to really ever find happiness and peace until God reigns as our King. And that day is coming. But He's let man try it for a long time. In several different ways. We blew it in the garden. Perfect environment. We blew it when we operated based on conscience. Just conscience, no law. We blew it. Wholesale murder. God destroyed the planet then with the flood. The next time He says He's going to destroy it with a fire. And we're kindling it. We're kindling it with our playing around. Apparently you can actually get a copyright. You can copyright viruses. You find them. We want to play with fire? You're going to get burned. Want to sow the wind? You're going to reap the whirlwind. So just think of what you can do to keep the fellowship with your brothers and sisters and keep your family and you as safe as possible as we see what unfolds in God's plan. And let's say a prayer. Father God, forgive us for our arrogance and for the things that we do out of greed. Help us to realize that we need our God. We need His love. We need His mercy. And we need you, Lord. Forgive us for all of our sins, Lord. And thank you for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon us. For it's in Christ's name I pray and give thanks. Amen. I'm sorry the lesson's going to get to you late and it was short, but hopefully maybe it'll make someone think. Goodbye.